We now have $4 trillion. Remember, I started this story with an $800 billion Obama recovery piece, and we're talking about $4 trillion. And all of it is about to flow to your communities. So when we talked about yesterday that this is a bamboo moment, this is really about seeding the dreams for this generation. What are the investments that we want to see, and how do we start to organize and mobilize ourselves to really think about this? So for me, I was holding my daughter and I was thinking, I don't think people understand what this means, because our communities are not going to look the same. I just want you to fully understand that there is a tsunami and the pipes haven't even fully opened up yet, but it is coming. And we are not really understanding, because we are talking about trillions, and I work in six figures. I don't even know how we get to a billion, nonetheless a trillion. So when they are putting out these numbers, I'm not quite sure that we understand the storm that is coming to us if we don't organize in this moment. Because the federal funding that's about to flow, or that is actively flowing, right? This is what we're going to be organizing against in the next 5 years. So either you are going to start to set the enabling conditions and get ready for what's coming and be part of it, or it is going to be what changes your community. That is what's coming in this moment, okay? Few of them, because one of the things when we said that we were helping to create those enabling conditions, we really did go to the administration and say, are there incentives for your criteria and your discretionary money that can center community-based organizations? So while it might be deeply frustrating that you've had outside groups contacting you, it is designed that way. Y'all said that these folks would build projects in your backyard and no one would call you. And now the federal government is essentially saying, did you talk to someone in your community before you built this project? And then they're calling you and you're like, we are overwhelmed by the phone call. Y'all, we can't, I'm not saying you can't complain, but I just want you to know, because we were there fighting in Washington saying, hey, you have to have community voice. You got to make sure that you talk to the people. So they were like, okay, we'll put that in the requirements. They have to have community voice. They have to have community feedback. And then when the people are reaching out, you're like, I'm overwhelmed. Okay, so I'm just giving you the understanding. This is our conversation, so that when you go back home, you can explain the assignment. Because either you're going to play, or you're going to complain, or you're going to protest because it's coming. Period. Okay, thank you. Now, it would have been great if this blueprint was given 4 years ago. We would have organized ourselves, we would have made sure that we had the resources, and we would have been ready. That is not the case. As I shared, all of this money has to be spent down by 2026 outside of the IRA money. So it is a lot, but we can meet this moment because we've been asking for it. So we have to collectively organize to think about those pieces. This presentation was more so focused on what the federal government is doing. But in this region, you have a governor, every governor, who needs to be asked the question around how are they spending this infrastructure money? How are they coordinating the infrastructure money? What advisory group has been made available to prioritize investments, and what it looks like to meet this moment? While we have not talked about Justice 40, and in part because for us, we see this as a Liberation 100, and let me explain the why. Justice 40 is essentially the 40% of the discretionary money that the federal government has oversight over. But as we talked about yesterday, for every $1 that's given to the state, 90% or 90 cents is given directly to the state. So when we talk about Justice 40, we're talking about the 10% that the federal government has oversight over. So that's 4 cents. No, I'm not going to do a mobilizing strategy over the 4 cents. I'm here for the full 100. I want the full dollar to be in support of communities. But that means that you have to go ask your state agencies, governors, and elected officials how they are spending the 90 cents that's going into their state, and how are they prioritizing community voice and value as part of it. Because guess what? Just as President Biden was able to put an executive order to say we were going to prioritize 40% of the resources on the money that's flowing, every governor can do their own executive order. And they can prioritize. And guess what? It doesn't actually have to be limited to 40%. It can be 50, it could be 60, it could be to whatever community that they have decided. But guess what? You have to ask. So this is a make me do it moment. And I'm going to need you all to do your part to ensure that all of these federal dollars that are flowing to the state actually works in service to you. Thank you.